Hey everybody, got another video for you. Let's talk about all the jobs that AI may just kill in 2024. That's right, I have seen it across the board. There are jobs literally being killed off from last year to this year, or augmented to where the same person can do the work of something that was full time in about an hour or two. And today we're going to go through the list of those jobs. And I'm going to start today. We're going to go through, we're going to ask, what the heck? Let's ask AI what it thinks, right? Some of these things I disagree with, some of these things I agree with. And I'm going to say this time we're going to use Gemini. And I did check both Gemini and OpenAI's ChatGPT. They pretty much gave the same answers for this one. And straight up, let's see, what are the top 10 most jobs that'll be impacted or replaced basically in 2024? And so some of these are no surprise. Some of them I don't really agree with yet, just because I'll go through it. But the first one is customer service representative. As you know, there are AIs that can answer phones and answer questions and give more accurate and direct answers than people. Not going to say they're perfect yet, but they don't make as many mistakes as people when you factor in people or the hold time or anything else, or even outsourcing that's happened. And so even if somebody on the phone isn't being directly placed with an AI voice, there's a good chance that the tools that they're using to get the information or craft your response is probably coming from an AI, especially if you do chat. If you do chat on sites, most of the time the stuff is coming from AI. And I have to stress, because I've done so much work with these tools, if you don't supply it, now when I mean you, I mean the business owner, the people providing these things, don't supply it with enough information, it's not going to give good answers. And that is the limitation that we're seeing right now, is that the business owners setting this up don't feed the AI enough information to really make it a helpful tool. And I think that's why we have some pushback in that space right now. So another one is data entry. AI powered tools are becoming increasingly sophisticated in extracting and processing data entry. You can literally take pictures of documents now, feed it to the AI, it will scan it, it'll summarize it. If court report, I don't know why we have court reporters, it could record a recording. If you ever use Zoom or if you use Google Hangouts, it will summarize your entire conversation. Well, it will transcribe your entire conversation, much like this video. And then that can be pumped out to an AI. It can summarize it. It can do follow-up tasks. It can do all that stuff. So from a meeting perspective, somebody who said, well, you'll be successful if you take good notes. Sorry, those good note takers, they're out. So congratulations to those C and D students in school that were horrible note takers, because congratulations, you got your own assistant that can do all these things for you. Those tools are out there. Next one is telemarketers. Yes, both texting and voice calls. I can tell you, the joke used to always be robocalls, but now you have an AI calling you or texting you to have these conversations, and it can get the data and the answers and sense your tone and almost immediately, convince you more than a person can convince you. There are some legalities with this, but at the same time, this is happening right now. These tools are happening. And I have to stress, there's actually a lot of fraud going on with this too. So you got to be really, really careful. And to note, if somebody calls you and it's dead silence, or you don't recognize the number, or if something like that is going on, don't sit there, hello, 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 or anything like that, because it only takes 5 seconds, and it may be as low as 3 now, of AI to clone your voice. And who knows what they're going to do with that. And so just be careful out there. But telemarketing, absolutely out with the bathwater. Sorry, the people in India and everywhere else that's been hired for the last couple of years to do that. You're out. AI's got that job. Proofreaders, absolutely. If you've ever needed a book editor or proofreading stuff, you can copy, paste an entire document. It will rewrite it. It'll proofread it. It'll check everything you need. I mean, obviously with spell check, we haven't had to worry too much about proofreading for the longest time, even grammar check. But now it'll rewrite your entire document at any skill level or book. At any skill level that you're looking for. So if you want it to sound like you have a doctorate from Harvard, you can tell it that, and it's going to rewrite your entire thing as a doctorate would from Harvard, how they would sound. Or if you want to say like an 8th grader, it can do that too. So I actually didn't know proofreading was a job still, but it is definitely out. AI has got that. That may be already long gone for a while. Market research analyst, that's a really good question. AI is really good at compounding data. As of this day, and the recording of this, they have basically trained AIs that are on the market for you and me, with every piece of public listed information that is currently available. It knows everything from all of humankind that has been written down. They're actually out of data. And so if you want to know, and I'm working through some projects right now, like there's this business thing that we do on the weekends every once in a while. It takes a business in 48 hours. It takes them through what's your market, what's your pitch, like all the way through, and it's a cram session. 48 hours, 6 to years worth of work. Instead of launching a business that's not a good idea, it gets you through in 48 hours, and it was an amazing thing. With AI, it has all of this market research data, all of this information. You can literally do those same exercises and go through an entire business scenario in half an hour and know without spending a penny if it's going to be successful, if it's not going to be successful, if it's a good idea, what the total marketplace is. Like all of this research data is at your fingertips without leaving the house. So the choices of starting bad businesses or businesses that are not a good idea, you don't have to go through years of hard knocks learning, right? You can sit down in an hour and knock all those things out. So the amount of data and market research, all right there, even for marketing, all the layers. I'm sure I'll do more videos on that. Financial analysts is the same thing. They've got so much data. It's like you're talking to the smartest financial analyst in the room from a big financial, like number cruncher, whatever it may be. You're talking to it. And so, wow, just that kind of thing is that you have access to the smartest analyst in the room or in the world or in all of human existence. It's at your disposal. $20 a month. All right, keep and go here. Let's see. We've got market research, financial, same thing. Here's the one, number 7. It says truck drivers. We've been hearing that automation and autonomous vehicles are going to be coming for a while, and that this has been ongoing. Regulation seems to hold some of these up. AI is really going to struggle in developed countries because of regulation and things like that. And so this has been slow going. So they're saying making things assistance, and things like that. But the actual truck driver replacement has been slow going. I don't see any machines out there unattended yet driving themselves. Not saying it's not coming, but you've got to break through a lot of these regulations and barriers. And a really quick idea of how these things. So if you're in a heavily certified, regulated area, there's certifications, there's schooling, there's things you got to pass, experience that you have to have. Those industries will be the slowest to adopt AI. And here is the parallel. If you go to places in Africa, there's more cell phones than there are landlines ever, because we as a country, we started putting landlines in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and grew to dial-up internet and things like that. They just leapfrogged all over that technology and that stuff because they didn't have any of that. Another good example is a doctor in a village in the middle of nowhere. There are none. But if they can access AI and get the answer, you may log into AI, or your doctor's office may log into AI here and try to get a diagnosis, and they're like, no, you can't use that. They've got nothing. So their alternative is to use these technologies or nothing. What's the best answer? They're going to do it. And so we're going to have some of these humps in these regulations that are going to lock out AI in some of these industries, like truck driving, for a little bit longer than some of the other places in the world may. So just keep that in mind. Manufacturing workers, absolutely. Keep in mind is the AIs now are designing the robotics to be able to improve these things at a rate. AI is designing chips for AI. So we're looking at this like exponential growth rate of intelligence here. So those people who are blue collar workers or have a physical job and say, oh yeah, it won't replace me. It's happening at an exponential rate, and these things are designing and generational improvements faster and faster and faster. Check out my other video I did a little bit ago about contractors and AC units and things like that. It can diagnose things with a picture better than we can now, better than the pros can. So don't think you're safe there. It's happening. It may be happening in factories faster because there's not autonomous robots running out there, but it's certainly happening. Retail workers, absolutely, especially as minimum wage goes up. I mean, you're hearing this in California and some other places now. There are some fast food chains that actually already have no employees or have one person to supervise the shop, and everything is being made. And it's made the right way. I think Chipotle is experimenting with a chip maker, because if you go to different Chipotles, they all taste different. The chip maker does it exactly the same every single time, without complaining, without hours. So those technologies actually we're going to see adopted faster and faster and faster, especially as minimum wage is climbing, because these are minimum wage repetitive tasks over and over and over. And AI and automation is fantastic with us. Lastly, here, number 10, we've got content writers. And so I don't even know where to start there. I'm helping somebody write an entire book based off of their blogs. Content writing is, unfortunately, I mean, it takes a lot of schooling. There's a lot of people went to a lot of school to become very good writers, and it was very expensive because it was time consuming. The content writing is just so easy. You can get in, like we talked about earlier, any style, any any type, any formats, any expertise. Just the whole research piece about writing content, and you can make. There's just so much you can do. And so, even though it's number 10 on the list, I have to say that content writing was probably dead in 2023. And if there's still content writers out there getting paid for their content and they're not using this as an arbitrage, you're crazy, because it's about the sale. It's about the sunset's about the sale on content writing. So hopefully those people out there are really thinking about what they're going to do next. And so these are just some of the jobs. I've seen them change a little bit in the last 6 months, but I think that list is going to get even more impactful for people. And we'll probably do it again in a couple months and see how it is. But that's it. Hopefully one of those jobs are not the field that you have a degree in and an expertise in. And if you do, don't be one of the last ones to leave that industry, because it is happening fast. So thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate it. And till next time, we'll see you soon. Thank you.